Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over a potential wildcard draft for Game Week 23. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment, what are your plans for the next game week, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, let's take a look at the goalkeepers and the defenders. In goal, we do have Alisson and Fabianski. I think you're going to see this goalkeeper appearing quite a lot going over into the next couple of game weeks, just simply because Alisson does have that double in 24, and either side of that double, he has Ipswich at home and Wolves at home as well, which are two really good fixtures. Wolves did not look very good last night, so that's obviously going to be a very great fixture for Alisson there. You'd like to think he'll keep a clean sheet. Ipswich did not look good against City, and then as I say, you've got that double as well. So I really like the Alisson pick. A little bit boring because his ceiling isn't crazy high if you are attacking 3 Liverpool players for that double, but he's one of the safer options. You know, the attackers are always nicer to go for because they can get so many points, but there is always that benching headache, stuff like that. It's always a worry. You don't really want to bring in an attacker and then them only start like one of the games in the double, because then it's just a little bit pointless. And then we also have Fabianski as well, 4.1 mil. You're not going to be playing him that often at all, but at the end of the day, he's a playing goalkeeper. He's one of the cheapest in the game, so I don't see why you'd go against him on a wildcard draft. Even if you've played your bench boost, it's still useful to have 2 playing goalkeepers when he's only going to cost you a tiny bit more money than a player that's not going to play. So they're the goalkeepers. Could also go Pickford as well if you wanted to kind of attack the double from an Everton perspective. They do have that Leicester at home fixture, which is very nice. But they also have that Liverpool fixture as well, which, again, you don't really know how that game's going to go because it's such a big derby. But I also just prefer kind of the Liverpool defence to the Everton defence as of right now. But yeah, they're the goalkeepers. At the back, we've got Gabriel. We've got, I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's like Hoyson or something like that. We've got Munoz. We've got Trent, and then we've also got Hall as well. Gabriel is in the team just simply because I think, even though Arsenal defence hasn't been great so far, the fixtures are going to be changing over the next few weeks. They do have that City at home fixture, which isn't ideal, but they have Wolves away, Leicester away, and West Ham at home, all in the next 4 as well. And I think you'd want to play Gabriel in any of those fixtures. He does have a very good threat from corners. Arsenal are known for their set pieces, and I think he's moments away from another bullet header. So that's why Gabriel's in the team. Hoysen's in there as well, just simply because the Bournemouth fixtures do look very nice. I'd much rather go Kirkes, but with the idea that he's potentially getting transferred out to maybe Liverpool or Man United or whatever, just creates that kind of doubt around him. So Hoysen's obviously cheaper. He's a very good player. He started like all the games recently as well, and he's like a bonus point magnet as well. I feel like whenever Bournemouth keep a clean sheet and they don't go crazy and score like 3 or 4, he's always around the bonus points. So I really like him as an option. Also got Munoz as well. This is a little bit of a up in the air kind of decision because of that blank game week in 29. That, again, nothing's set in stone at the moment, but it's unlikely that Arsenal are going to bring that game back. So it looks like Newcastle and Palace are going to be blanking. And in this draft that I've got here, we've got 2 defenders from that game, which is Hall and Munoz. So if you didn't want to kind of commit yourself to a ton of transfers in Game Week 29, then maybe you get rid of him for a Mykolenko. He is cheaper. You do have him for the double. The only thing I don't like about the Everton players, though, is just the double, I think, is a little bit too... it's kind of like bringing people into it a little bit too much, because the fixtures around that double are just absolutely terrible. They've got Brighton away this week. You're not going to play him in that fixture. Obviously, you're going to play him in the double for Leicester and Liverpool at home. But then Palace away is tough. Man United at home, that's got probably 0-0 written all over it, to be fair. Brentford away, it's just... they're not fixtures that I would want to ever play Mykolenko in. And he's not the most expensive player at all. He's only 4.3 mil. He will save you 0.4 if you go Mykolenko over Munoz. I just don't know. I feel like the double's just attracting people in too much. But I don't think Everton are going to go crazy in that double. And like I say, all the other fixtures around the double just aren't ideal. But anyway, if you wanted to go Munoz, you wanted to go Mykolenko, that option is there. Also gone Trent as well for the double. He's going to be brought in a lot this week because a lot of people are going to want him for Ipswich at home, and then they're going to want him for the double. And then obviously Wolves at home is also a very nice fixture. There's not really a lot to say about him, to be fair. He hasn't been as good as he has been in recent years. He's not on all the set pieces. But if they do pick up a clean sheet, he's probably going to be in around the bonus points. And he is still one of the best defenders in the league in terms of chances created and stuff. So absolutely no issue going with him at all. And then I've also gone to Lewis Hall as well. This is also a little bit up in the air because you kind of want him for that Southampton fixture, but then after that, the fixtures aren't crazy ideal from a Newcastle standpoint. I mean, Fulham at home and Forest home aren't too bad, but they also have City and Liverpool away in the next 5. But then you don't have to play him in all those fixtures. You know, when he's got City away, you play Munoz, who's got Everton at home, or you play Hoyson, who's got Southampton away, and then you're going to be playing Trent, and then you've also got Gabriel as well. So you've got plenty of backup for him in that fixture. And then even in the other fixture as well, like I guess Forest away is not too bad for Gabriel, Villa at home for Munoz, and then you can also play Trent, who's got Newcastle at home. So with those 2 bad fixtures, you don't have to play him. But then because you're only playing him at most 3 out of the next 5, is he really worth bringing into your team for 5 mil? Maybe, maybe not. I can see both sides of the coin. Again, there's no Forest defense in this team, and that's simply because the fixtures don't look great from a defensive standpoint from Forest. I know that we're one of the best defense in the league, but we do have some tricky fixtures coming up. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind the defense. I quite like it. It's just that Munoz and Hall positions can easily be changed for different defenders. There's no other defenders that are really like screaming at me though to bring in. I think these are probably some of the best ones that you can probably have on a wildcard draft. But anyway, that's the goalkeepers and the defense. Into midfield, 2 of them, of course, picked themselves in Palmer and Salah. Again, Salah is probably going to be triple captained quite a bit in 24. The fixtures could be better. You know, Everton away and Bournemouth away, they definitely could be better. But it's Liverpool, and Salah, even though he's on back-to-back blanks, if he goes big in that double, a triple captaincy is going to be looking very, very nice. But there, of course, are also doubles later on in the season. There's a lot of chips to play. We have assistant manager, we have bench boost, we have free hit. So it's how you kind of organize your chips going into those fixtures. But either way, I probably will be triple captaining him. I'm not deciding on that yet fully, but I'm more triple captaining him than I'm not at the moment. Anyway, though, Salah, of course, makes it into the squad. Palmer does as well. City away this week, not ideal. Very unlucky not to get a return last night. Very happy he didn't, because obviously he would have hurt my rank. But yeah, that Madueke goal absolutely stole it, and that would have been a Palmer assist. He also did assist Jackson as well, but that was just offside. So he could have got a haul last night easily. But either way, they're just kind of a necessity in this team. I've also gotten some cheap midfielders as well in Rodgers and Semenyo. So Rodgers is in there. I just still think he's one of the best midfielders to own this season in terms of price and his output. Really nice fixtures coming up as well for Villa. They have been a little bit off it lately. I mean, they did do really well to come back and get a draw against Arsenal. But yeah, I feel like Rodgers is still a solid option to have. I've also gone Semenyo as well at 5.6. Now, a lot of people might be raising their eyebrows at this, but at the end of the day, I still think he's a better option than Kluivert, or Kluivert, however you pronounce his name. They are the same price. I know that Kluivert's on penalties, but Semenyo's minutes are a lot better, like 90, 90, 90, 90, 90. Basically plays 90 every single game. When if you take a look at Kluivert's, yeah, you got 90 in that big haul, but before that, 68, 69, 0, 71, 77, 79, 62. So already straight off the bat, Semenyo is averaging like 20 more minutes than Kluivert every single game. Fair enough. Kluivert kind of rectifies that being on penalties. But he also got, like, his goal involvement hasn't been like incredible. Like 0.33 goal involvement for scoring 3 goals and getting an assist. That's absolutely insane. He's completely overperformed there. Obviously, it was very, very good against Chelsea, being at 1.18. But before that, 0.42. He obviously didn't play the Fulham game, but 0.16. I'm not saying he's a bad option at all. I just think Semenyo is a little bit of a better option. I like him a bit more than Kluivert. Like, he had a better expected goal involvement and only got 1 assist, which is very, very unfortunate because his numbers were better. Again, 0.05 against Chelsea, completely overperformed there. But 0.74, 0.3, 0.43, 0.45. I just think his numbers are a little bit better. Again, if you wanted to go Kluivert just because of the penalties and stuff, then you can do. But he's got more goal involvement and he's also getting more minutes as well. The fixtures are looking really good for Semenyo. Well, for Bournemouth, I guess, in general. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I'd probably go Semenyo. But if you wanted an extra penalty taker, then you go for Kluivert. But either way, that's him. And then we've also got Mbeumo as well. Just kind of getting him into the side early because I think when these fixtures change, like after the Palace game, he's got a very, very good fixture. And like Spurs at home, very, very good fixture with how bad Spurs are at the moment. And obviously Brentford are really good at home. West Ham away, Leicester away, Everton at home as well. And Palace away is not terrible either. I think Mbeumo is going to shoot up in value very, very soon. And then, Villa at home, Bournemouth away. He's just kind of a set and forget for a little bit. And again, a lot of people are kind of looking at that Brentford attack, whether it be Wissa or Brian Mbeumo. I think just getting into that early would be kind of nice. So that's the midfielders and the defenders and the goalkeepers. Up top, we've gone for Mateta, Isak, and Chris Wood as well. So again, this is the only problem about this draft is that you've got 4 players from Newcastle and Palace. And again, when you're going into that kind of game week 29 blank, you will have to basically be using quite a few, unless you're free hitting, obviously, you'll have to use quite a few transfers to get rid of them. A lot of people are dead ending into game week 29 and then wildcarding 30. Obviously, if you're wildcarding this week, you can't do that. So maybe you do get rid of a couple of the defenders. Maybe you do get rid of Munoz and Hall or something, so you don't have to use those transfers later down the line. But Mateta has obviously been firing a lot recently. He's a solid option, only 7.3 on penalties, 13.88 points in the last couple of games. He's also got some really nice fixtures coming up. Brentford at home, Everton at home in the next 3. Man United away could be seen as a good fixture. Fulham away, Villa at home, Ipswich at home. Just a bit of a set and forget for a bit, in my opinion. Solid option. I definitely prefer him to the likes of João Pedro. I know he's a little bit more expensive, but I think he just is performing a lot better than João Pedro at the moment. Isak, again, just set and forget, really. Even though the fixtures against City and Liverpool away, doesn't really matter. Isak is fixture proof. He can score against anyone on penalties, 90 minutes. I know that he's got that slight hamstring thing, but he's seemingly absolutely fine. And then we've also got Chris Wood as well. The fixtures, like I say, they're not great for Forest. Like Bournemouth away is a very tough fixture for Forest. Brighton at home, that's going to be an interesting game. Fulham away, tough fixture. And then Newcastle away, Arsenal at home. They're not the greatest fixtures, but with how good Forest are at the moment, I think they can beat anyone on the day. And Chris Wood is a big reason for that. He's scoring constantly, got a 12-point haul in the last game week. So I really like Wood as an option. If you wanted to go for somebody different, then I'd completely understand because the fixtures aren't ideal. But at the end of the day, this is kind of the draft that I've got going. So you kind of sorted for game week 24. If you want to bring in an Everton player, maybe you go Dominic Calvert-Lewin over Chris Wood. Maybe you go Mikolenko over Munoz. I don't see the benefit there because you're really just targeting that Leicester at home fixture, and I just don't think it's really worth it. Because if Leicester go and score and they win 1-0, you've got to then use a transfer to get rid of an Everton player because you're not really going to be playing him in any fixtures apart from that. But either way, that's my wildcard draft for game week 23. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, leave a comment. What are your plans for the next game week? Subscribe if you're brand new, and yeah, have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.